I'm going to show you how to set up messages in Airtable to capture different messages all in one place and make it easy for you to send the right messages to the right people at the right time to win some sales. Hi, I'm Paul Higgins and welcome to this short video. What we're going to do is cover the tool that we use and recommend, which is Airtable, so why use it. The second is we're going to show you how to set it up yourself, and then we're going to show you what the next steps are. So at any point you've got questions, just email me at paul@paulhigginsmentoring.com. So the first is why Airtable and why we use it. So Airtable is a free and a paid tool, but we like using the free version, which we recommend that you initially sign up for. So there's lots of great YouTube videos and there's lots of help within the platform itself. So we're not going to go into much detail there. We're just going to show you how to set up a simple way for you to capture all your messages in one place. And the reason we use it is really twofold. So I'll give you a quick example. One is that it allows you to have multiple options for each field, so which is fantastic. Excel and Google don't allow that. And the second is it allows you to create these different views. And once again, you don't really need that at the moment, but over time you'll realize how valuable it is. So that's why we use it. So the next is let's go and set up a base. So you're going to set up a free account and you won't have these existing bases there. So what we'll do is just create a base and we will just call the base. What I recommend you do is call it by your company name. So let's just call it Company ABC for the moment. So you'd call it your company name and just pick a color that you like. Then the next thing you want to do is in the first tab here, because we're going to create a couple of tabs. So think of it as a sheet in Google Sheets as an example. I'm just going to rename that. I'm going to call it messages. Okay, so then what we're going to do is set up each of these fields. So what I'll do is go and show you an example and then we'll come back and set up a couple of them for you to do the rest. So this is the one that I've set up for, and it just shows you exactly what you're going to create. So the first thing is you're going to create a topic field, then a status. So a status, there's really three statuses that we've got at the moment, and that is whether it's active, archived, or pending. And obviously you put pending at the top, active, and if you want to change the color, that's really easy. You can just change the color. Let's say pending is orange, and then we've got archive might be red as an example, right? And you can change it alphabetically, the order, or you can just manually drop it, right? So that's the status. Then we've got campaign type, which I won't go into a lot of detail, but what I've got is I've got clients, I've got client campaigns, I've got multiple reasons why I use messages. It's greater than sales. You might not need that field. We'll set one up and then you can always add and change it. And I'll show you how to do that. The next is the format. So you might have where it's on LinkedIn, you might have where it's on email. And later what we can do is create a field so it can quickly, you can just come over here and you can see exactly how all the emails are or all the LinkedIn messages are. Then we're going to have the message. So we've got message one. Now for LinkedIn, that's normally your connection message, right? Your connection request. So we've got message one, then we've got message two. And here it tells, how many days after sending message one would you send message two? So that's what it is there. And then it goes, 3 through to 5. Now, you can have as many messages as you like in a sequence. The reason why we do it all as one, if I just open up and show you, is that it's a lot easier to have the first message, the second message, etc., all in a row rather than creating different columns because it gets very difficult to manage over time. So that's the way we structure it. That's the reason why we structure it like that. What we also do here is just have the source. So once again, that's optional as to where you got it from. You can add attachments. You can add a URL if you like. And we always recommend that you have a created date and a modified date, which becomes ways that you can create fields in the future. So now what we'll go and do is go back to the base that you've created. So you created the base before, which was company ABC. So what we're going to do is set up a couple of these columns for you, and then you can go and create the rest as per the video that we've shown so far. So the first one is it'll always come up with these as the standard. So what we'll do is you can just rename this view at any time. So let's just call it all because it's got basically all the data in one. And what we do is go topic, because that's basically what the topic's called. And what you want to do here is normally that's a single text field. So you just select single text field and then you go save. So the next field that we want to create, or the next column that we want to create, is the status field, right? So it's already got a status field here. So what you can do is just drag it across. And what we do is just go edit field, and we want to make it a single select. You can make it multi, but we want to make it single. And as I said before, what we can do is have a couple. So what we can do is have in progress or planning, something like that. And once again, you could change the color. So let's make that orange. Then you've got active, and then you've got archive. And the active you could make green, and the archive you make a different color. Okay, so once again, you can choose your colors, etc., and you can choose your terms. So that's what we use at the moment, and you have it in that order. So that's the second, which is that. Then the next is we've got a campaign type, and like I said, that is completely optional, but what we can do is just create a new field here. There's two ways to do it. You can create a new field by pressing the button there, or what you can do is if you want to insert a new field to the left, you just go there left. And then what we want this to be, campaign type, we want it to be a single select field, right? And what we want to do is just call that campaign type. And then what we want to do is add some options. So for example, you might want to do it that it's a client, so external for you. It might be a campaign, which is the internal campaigns. You know, you can name what you want. You can sort them the way that you want it, okay? Not that important. The next is what we want to do is create a format. So we'll just edit this field and we'll call it a format. And once again, we'll want the format to be single select. And what we'll add is some options. We'll have LinkedIn, and we'll also use email. They're the two that we're currently using, and you can once again sort them alphabetically so we can save them there. Okay, so the next we want to create the message. So once again, I'll edit this field and I'll call this message 1. And what I'll do is the message 1, I want to make a long text field, right? So that's message 1. So what we could do is we could go and create another one, or what you can do here is just duplicate the field, and then you just go and edit the name, which is message 2. Now, obviously, you know, you can pause this at any time, this video, and if you've got a second screen, you can sort of build this. So the next, so that's message 1 and then message 2, and the next is when are we going to send, how many days after are we going to send it? So the actual type is going to be a number for the number of days, and we're going to call that days after M1, which is days after we send that message 1. And we just go create field. And then what you do is do the same for message, you'd create message 3, days after for message 2, etc., as per the video, right? So I won't go through all of those at the moment. What I'm going to do is just show you a couple of other fields that you're then going to enter, because it's effectively the same thing. So as I said, the source is completely optional, but if you wanted to put one in, you would just put source, you'd go single select, and you might have that it's for me, you might have that it's internal, you might have it is external. So it's where you got the source. Once again, not important. It's completely up to you whether you keep that. And if they're not in priority order, I just effectively make them alphabetical order. The next is any attachment. So it might be that you've got a photo or something of a script that you want to add in there. So what you can do is just add the attachment field. If you want, you can actually add a URL field as well, which would be URL. And then finally, we're creating 2 fields. One is the created time. So it depends on the time zone that you're in. If you're based in America, well, that's set up for you. If you're based in Europe, you just change it to Europe, right? So that's what you would do there. So that's the created, and you would have last modified, which is the same thing. So last modified, you just go into formatting, and once again, you turn off the time, and then you change it based on where you are, your local time. So that is the key way to set up the message table. So the next steps are for you to go and start to populate this. So the messages that we've already created, go and put them in here. And remember that you have each of the messages in one. So as an example, you would have the message 1, message 2. So if you're doing LinkedIn outreach, all of the following messages would be in there. What you're going to do is create the extra columns in there. So you're going to finish that. And that's all you really have to do. If you've got any questions, please ask me at paul@paulhigginsmentoring.com. Thank you.